All right, so we have learned what rational numbers are, right? So if I have, for example, 3/7, that's a rational number because it can be written as a fraction, all right? Now, if I have, 3x/7y, now this is a rational expression because it is a fraction that has variables in there. All right, x's and y's. Now, what we also know, so that is a rational expression, right? What we also know about fractions is, can you ever divide by 0? No, you're never allowed to divide by 0. So the denominator of a fraction can never be 0. Now, if I have a variable in the denominator, okay, that has the potential of being 0 because if y equals 0, then that fraction would be undefined. So that means this expression, 3x/7y, it has excluded values. Excluded values are any values of a variable that result when the denominator is equal to 0. Okay? So take a look. Look at this one. I have a variable in here that is an x, right? When x is 0, this denominator will be 0. So I say it has an excluded value, and that value is x cannot be 0. Look at this one. The denominator is never allowed to be 0, right? So when will x plus 3 equal to 0? You take the denominator, set it equal to 0, minus 3, minus 3. When x is -3, that denominator is 0. So I say x cannot equal to 3. Okay? So here we're going to write the excluded values for each rational expression. Now, for the excluded values, all we need to take is the denominator. I ignore the numerator. Now, in this denominator, a minus 2, do you see how there is a minus inside here? That means how many terms are in a minus 2? 2 terms. That's a binomial. So whenever you have 2 or more terms, you take the denominator, set it equal to 0, and you solve for the variable. A equals 2. So I say the excluded values are a cannot equal to 2, right? Because if a was equal to 2, 2 minus 2 would be 0, and that's not okay. Look at this one. Look at the denominator here. How many terms are in this denominator? 1. This is a monomial. When it's a monomial, all you have to do is just say each variable can't equal 0. Okay, so what are the variables here? I have an a. I say a can't equal 0. I have a b. B can't equal 0. I have a c can't equal to 0. Ignore the exponents. Okay? So monomial is easier. Okay, here I take the denominator. Okay? And I'm going to say x squared minus 4 is equal to 0. Now, how do we solve this one? Factor. So this is a difference of squares. So I say x plus 2, x minus 2. Okay? So what do I get from here? X equals what? -2. And from here? X equals 2. So the excluded values are x can't equal -2, x can't equal +2. So look, There is actually a second way that we can do this. Or, okay? Or I can add 4. X squared equals 4. Then you take a square root, and then I say x is plus or minus 2. So same thing. Yeah, both will work. Okay, both will work. Okay, let's do this one. I'm just going to take the denominator. X squared minus 7x plus 12 is equal to 0. Remember the factoring? Oh, it's back. It's back. Did you notice on the lesson plan for tomorrow? What are we doing for tomorrow? Just factoring review. Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's factor this one. X. Can you think of two numbers that multiply to positive 12 and add to 7? Oh, yeah, 3 and 4. Oh, my gosh. It's been a long day. It's been a long day. So x equals 3, x equals 4. So the excluded values are x can't equal 3, x can't equal 4. Cool? Okay, this one. Take the denominator. Let's see. A squared plus 2a minus 8 is equal to 0. What? Plus 4, negative 2. So here and here. So I get a is negative 4. A is 2, so a can't equal negative 4. A can't equal 2.
You just like right here, so like do like
Equal, not equal, yeah. Well, no, these are the excluded values, right? These are the values that the variable can never equal.
because it's gonna be equal to
Because if a was negative 4, the denominator would equal 0. No, not any even number. Right, but not 6, not 8. So if a was equal to 2, and I put it in here, look, I would get 2 squared plus 2 times 2 minus 8. How much is that? 4 plus 4 minus 8. How much is that? 0, right? So a can't equal 2 because then it would make that 0. Okay, let's do the next one. X squared plus 25 is equal to 0. Can we factor this?
oh yeah.
Okay. We can only do that if it's a difference of 2 squares. So we were able to do that with the x squared minus 4 because I had perfect square, minus in the middle. Okay? Here, I have plus in the middle. I cannot factor this. That means I got to do it the other way. Minus 25. X squared equals negative 25. Let's take a square root. Can you take the square root of a negative number?
No.
Okay, so can't be negative. That means there are no excluded values. Don't say no solution, because what we're looking for here is, are there any values that don't work? But there aren't. Okay? Okay. So now let's go to okay. Let's go to simplifying rational expressions. So now we're going to add to this. To simplify, we have to cancel the GCF from the numerator and the denominator. So look at this one. We want to simplify and we want to state the excluded values, right? Okay. So this one, you have to do this before canceling. Okay. Oh, okay. So let's do that. Okay, so let's do that. So look at this. This is a monomial, right? So for the excluded values, I say x can't equal 0, y can't equal 0. Now, I'm going to reduce this. So first I do the coefficients. 10 divided by 5 is how much? 2. X squared and x. What do I get? X. Y cubed and y squared. What do I get? Y squared. So what I end up with here is 2xy squared. So this is the simplified form, and those are the excluded values. Okay? Okay, here. This is equal to, now this is not a monomial anymore. So in the numerator, is there anything I can factor out? No. So I write it over, but I put parentheses around it because I want to know that x plus 1 is 1 unit together. Okay? Now, here, can I factor anything out of this, the 2x plus 2? Is there a GCF I can factor out? A 2. When I factor out a 2, what do I get? X plus 1. Do you remember what factoring out a GCF was like? When you factor out a 2, it's like you divide, right? Okay, so now look at this. Here, this is a 1 times x plus 1 and 2 times x plus 1. The x plus 1s, because they're the same, they reduce. Okay? And then what I have left is 1 over 2. But now we have to do the excluded values. So we have to do this before the step that we canceled. So from 2x plus 2. So here, 2x plus 2 equals 0, minus 2, divide by 2, divide by 2, x is negative 1, right? So I say x can't equal negative 1. Okay? Okay, this one. Let's do the excluded values. Take the denominator. So minus 6, minus 6. Right? Now, 3x equals negative 6. What's x equal to? Negative 2. No. Oh, yeah, I did divide by 3. That's how I got negative 2. Yeah. Okay, so this is the exclusion, the excluded value. X can't equal negative 2. Now what do we do here? Now let's simplify. To simplify, we're going to factor. How do I factor the x squared minus 4? Correct. Okay. Here, how do I factor this out? What can I factor out of here? A 3. And remember, factoring out a 3 is like dividing by 3. So I have x plus 2. When you factor out a 3, you have to put it in front. So now, each of the parentheses is one entity and it cancels with an identical entity. So here, the x plus 2 and the x plus 2 cancel with each other. So I get x minus 2 over 3. Okay? And those okay. So here, let's factor this first. N plus 5, I always put parentheses around them. N plus 5, N minus 4. Okay. So now, let's do excluded values before canceling, right? So let's see. Take the denominator, set it equal to 0. Yeah.
The denominator is not n plus 5 and n minus 4. Are you taking it out from the one you just? So you need to do it before you finish?
Yeah, so I just factored, but I haven't canceled yet, right? Yeah, so now this will be n equals negative 5, n equals 4. So n can't equal negative 5, n can't equal 4. Okay, now, does anything cancel here? The n plus 5. But when I reduce this, the coefficient of this is 1, right? So I have 1 over n minus 4 left. So I needed two numbers that multiply to negative 20 and add to plus 1. So that was 5 and negative 4. Okay? Okay, let's do this next one. Okay, this one has lots to factor. Okay, A. What two numbers multiply to 3 and add to 4? 1 and 3. Okay, here let's do this one. What two numbers multiply to 6 and add to 5? Anything? Multiply to 6. 3 and 2. Now, we factored. Before you cancel, let's do the excluded values. So for the denominator, a plus 3, a plus 2 equal to 0. A is negative 3, negative 2. These are the excluded quantities. What? Yeah.
Does it matter which order we do it? I wrote 8 plus 2 and then 8 plus 2. Does it matter which order we do it? So absolute factor. I wrote.
Oh, no, it doesn't matter.
Wait, but why is it A equals? Oh, then now I can do A is something and A is something.
Yeah, you're right. Yes. Okay, so now here, can anything cancel? The a plus 3. So this would be a plus 1 over a plus 2. Other questions? Any questions? Okay. I'm going to give you a minute to factor these two, top and bottom. Go. X plus 2, x minus 1 is right. So x plus 2, x minus 1. All right? Yep. How did you do the bottom?
Minus 2 and 2.
X minus 2, x plus 2. Okay, so now before we cancel, let's do the excluded values. So here, x is 2 and negative 2. So you say x can't equal, you can also say it this way, 2 and negative 2. Okay? Okay, does anything reduce? You mean the x plus 2's? The x plus 2's reduce, and so I have x minus 1, x minus 2. Okay? All right, so now I'm going to give you a few minutes to do these. Now look, 1, 2, 3, and 4. The first one is just a monomial, right? The first one is just a monomial, so you're going to do it like example 2a, this one. Okay? So like example 2a. Okay, go. The excluded values are x can't equal 0, y can't equal 0. Okay, and then the 28 and the 16 both divide by 4, right? And I get 7 and 4. And then with the x, 1 cancels and 1 cancels. And then with the y, I have 2 here and none here. So that gives me 7y squared over 4x. Okay? Okay? All right. What about this one? How did this factor? Who factored this one? Oh my gosh. Okay. Who factored this one? Yeah. Okay, hang on. So it's x minus 4, x plus 3. Okay, Jacob, what did you get for the top?
The top I got.
Leora, did you do the numerator?
I got 5.
Uh-huh.
And then in parentheses,
X plus 3, correct. Okay, so yeah, what are the excluded values?
The excluded values would be negative 3 and 4.
Yeah. Okay. And then we reduce and we get 5 over x minus 4. And here you can leave it like this or you can put parentheses. It's the same. Okay. Here we go. This one. Okay. Jonathan, did you factor the top? Okay. Can you factor now? What can we take out of the top? Between the 2x and the 12, is there a GCF? We can factor out a 2. And then what do we have left when we do that? X minus 6. Okay, so Benny, did you do the denominator?
yeah, the x minus 6 plus 6.
Okay. L, do you have the excluded values for this? Uh-huh. Yeah. Correct. So by the way, you can also say x cannot equal plus or minus 6. Okay? Okay. I reduce and I have 2 over x plus 6. Okay. Oh, that's frozen. Okay. All right. Okay. Ella, did you factor this last one? What do we think? Two numbers that multiply to 28, but 7 and 4. Over n plus 4. This reduces, so I get n plus 7. And what's the excluded value? N can't equal what? Negative 4. Okay? All right. So, you're going to do homework from the book today.